Stop losing acting auditions because of a weak resume. No credits? No problem. I'm going to show you step by step how to make an actor resume, whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Neil Kelly. I am a working actor in Los Angeles. I have a BFA in acting from Boston University. I've been on Netflix, Hulu, CBS, regional theater, yada, 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 national commercials. So I'm here to help you today build your resume to help bring you in and start your career down the same path as me. Today, we're building your generic actor resume. This is the resume that people say, bring a resume to the audition, and you just have to print it out and hand it to them. We'll be talking about the common mistakes. We'll even be breaking down my own resume that I'm going to show you guys. And we'll be talking about how to fill it out if you're a newbie and you don't have very many credits underneath you. And as always, I'll be giving you some action steps so that you know exactly what to do when this video ends so that you can bring your career to the next level. Let's get started, shall we? So here we're starting with some of the common beginner mistakes that actors can make. And I'm showing you obviously right now in Canva. There are a lot of Canva templates that honestly are fantastic, of course. However, I want to quickly show you how some things can just be a little cluttered, and that's what we're going to notice right here. So beginner mistake number one is tiny font. We have such teeny tiny font in some of these that no one can really see what's going on. The resume itself might be great and look pretty from afar, but in reality, we can't see the actual credits that are on this. My next example is going to be too much fanciness. So here we have something that looks very pretty from afar, right? But honestly, it's too colorful, it's too overdone, and all of the graphics and colors that are added to this are a distraction from what a resume is actually supposed to be, which is your credibility. A lot of people don't realize that a casting director in this scenario is mostly trying to watch your audition, because this is a resume for in-person auditions. So when you hand them your resume and they just need to glance at it and get a feel for what you've done, that needs to be simple and straightforward, because they want to look very quickly, maybe 5 to 7 seconds, see what you've done, look back at you, and actually watch you perform in front of them. If you add too much stuff on top of that, they're distracted by your resume looking down, and guess what? They might miss half of your performance. That's not good, people. And lastly, a lot of beginners like to use their resume as a way to show off their headshots. If we look at this example right here, we have this whole half of the resume completely used to advertise as a headshot. Usually a resume is on one side of the paper and your headshot is on the other side of the paper. So they don't need all of this real estate taken up by your headshot. It's supposed to be taken up by words. Now, if you've fallen victim to that over-the-top resume, make it look pretty mistake that a lot of beginners make, don't worry. Stick with me. I'm going to guide you through my resume right now and show you how to make your resume boring, but effective. So let's take a look at my resume. So here you go, my boring old Google Doc Microsoft Word resume. Let's break this down. So what do we see when we look at this resume? Very top, my name, then we go into attributes, then we go into my credits in multiple different areas, whether that's film, TV, or theater. We then go into my education and training, wrap it up with any awards or recognitions I have, and then go into my special skills. So if you see this as a whole and we look at it from afar, it's pretty easy to just go, oh, category film, category television, category theater, yada, 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 so that you can just quickly glance with your eye, see the category you were looking for, and just go right into reading it. But now let's break down these categories. So let's start with this top annotation. We have my name, big bold letters, front and center. Easy. You can do that too. Right underneath it, I put my union status. I am a member of SAG-AFTRA, so I have that listed. If you are non-union, you can put non-union. If you are a member of Actors Equity, you could put Actors Equity. If you're a member of both, you can put both. Pretty simple. Now below that, usually it's divided into two sides. On the one side, you have your physical attributes, which you see I have listed here. I have my height being 5'10". I have my hair being brown, BRO is for brown. And then because I audition for musical theater as well, I have my vocal type. So straightforward. Height, weight, vocal type if you're in musical theater. On the other side would be how they would contact you. Now, if you do not have representation, this is where you would put your personal contact information. You would say, hi, this is my email, and you put your email there. Or you could put your phone number, but I'm going to tell you something right now. You don't know where any of these papers are going to go. So, as a security reason, I would recommend not putting your phone number. Put an email, so they know how to contact you through an email, but do not put a phone number. So if someone random comes across your resume, They don't just have your phone number at their disposal. I heard a story once from a theater that had weeks worth of resumes from auditions and they just threw them out because, they didn't need them anymore. And all of those resumes ended up in the trash. And I was like, wow. Anyone could have come across those if you actually think about it. So just be careful. Treat it like the internet. You never know who's going to come across it. So great, section 1 done. Section 2. Now these are getting into your credits. Now for me, you see I have my film, TV, and regional theater credits all divided out. However, if you do not have TV credits, do not put them. If you do not have theater credits, do not put them. If you do not have film credits, do not put them. Just skip the section altogether. You can add in your own sections. We'll talk about this more, so stay with me. But if this would be an example of if you're a dancer, throw in a dance section if that's really a specialty of yours and you need to fill out some space on your beginning resume. So at the top of your resume, that's where everyone's eye is going to go first. You either put your most credible credits or you put the category you're working in the most. So for me, that's film. I have my most credible credits here, Netflix, and Malleable was a Tribeca official selection. So because I have both of those there, they can see, credibility right off the bat at the top of the resume. However, if you are primarily a theater actor, you would put your theater first, obviously. Let them see exactly what you've been in first. Now within these sections, for film, you always have listed the title of the film. Then you have listed whether that role is a supporting or a lead. So because of this, you have to know the breakdowns of the vocabulary in the industry. I have a video of that. I'll tag it down below. Check that out if you don't understand these terminologies or what characters you played actually go into which categories. And then in the final section, you put the director and the studio or platform that created it. If you have something that you really want to highlight about that project because it was special, I recommend doing this little asterisk system I have going on here. So as you can see, I just threw in an asterisk with this role showing that I performed with Emily Blunt, Chris Evans, Andy Garcia, and Catherine O'Hara. I also put a double one to differentiate it so you knew that this was a Tribeca Film Festival official selection. You can do something like that to help bolster your credibility even more right at the top. Now, I also like to put these little dividers going across the screen. They help to let your eye go quickly to the whole section. It lets you have this boxing in effect without actually creating a box. So the next section we're looking at here is television. You should list the television show, what type of role it was. Remember, you're not putting your character name, you're putting the type of role. This was a guest star, and then this was a co-star. And then once again, you put the platform or production studio that made it in your last column. This section is different, okay? This is your theater. So theater is different because you actually put the title of the show, and then you put the character name that you played. You don't put the type of role like you did in film and TV, you put the character name you played. Then in the final column, you put the theater it was performed at. As you can see here, similar to my asterisks above, I put original here so that you knew that I originated that role. I was the very first person to ever do it. Once again, a little thing to help you stand out, but still keeping things simple. Another tip I'll give you for theater, if you're someone who's just starting out, is that you can divide your theater into multiple sections. So you can divide it into community theater, into regional theater, into professional theater, into educational theater if you did stuff at school. So if you need more space filled out in your resume because you're just starting out, I would recommend doing something like that because you can then fill out the white space with titles instead of the credits that you don't have yet, but you're building up, and I'm proud of you for building them up. We all start somewhere, right? Then if you scroll down here, you have my education, which means that you actually have a degree or an institution of some sort attached to it. Training are like classes. You enrolled in a course. I have my acting classes listed here. I have the places I studied listed here, but that's different from education, which is the school I went to or the schools I studied at. Wrap it up with a little awards and recognition section. Lastly, if you're just starting out, your special skills section is your best friend. As you can see, I only have a couple things listed here because I had more credits and I needed to make space for it because you have to fit it all on one page. So I don't have every single special skill I do listed out. But if you're starting out, I really recommend making this thing as long as you want it. You can have it going for a couple lines because that helps to fill out some space on your resume and shows them some random things you can do that could actually be helpful for their production. So that's my boring resume outline, but you can see that there's a method to the madness. This actually is supposed to optimize a casting director's eyes. Just glancing down at your resume, they can get what they want and then they can just focus on you. You're not distracting them with a million things. So really quickly, I want to add some practical things that newer actors can implement into their resume to help beef it out a little bit. Firstly, are there sections of your resumes that you can turn into multiple sections so that the titles of them take up more space. My example before was theater. You could do educational theater, you could do community theater, you could do professional theater, you could divide it into multiple sections, more headings, more space taken up. Next, optimize your special skills section. I'm sure there's a million things you can do that you don't think is actor related, but you can throw it on your resume. For the longest time, I had that I'm an amazing baker on my resume when I was doing my community theater. And guess what? It was true. It was a great conversation starter too. The director would be like, "Oh, I see you bake." And you could just go, "Yeah, I bake." And then you could have a little bit of a back and forth, like a conversation starter to help network. But besides the fun stuff, you also have practical things that I'm sure people would love in a production. Do you do martial arts? Did you do gymnastics? Do you play any instruments? All of those are things that could very easily be utilized in a production, and you could help elevate it. Think about any foreign languages you speak or accents you have. All of those are great things. In fact, there's a million other special skills that I'm sure tons of actors have out there. Please leave comments down below of all your favorite special skills to list. Everyone help each other, steal from others, give back more. I'll throw one down there. I would always put monkey noises. I was good at making a monkey noise. Never had to use it, but sure was fun to have on the resume. And lastly, do you have other performance related things that you can make an entire section on your resume that maybe won't be acting? You can list all of your dance concerts. Were you a musician? You could list all of your recitals you performed at. Find ways to resource the smaller things that you've done and start using them to build up your resume. Eventually, you'll be able to take them out and put in legitimate credits, but it's a great way just to have your resume started. So now that you have all of that information running around your head, what are my action steps for this week? Here you go. This week, we're gonna make your generic resume. These are the things you're gonna keep in mind. Keep your resume clear, readable, and professional. Feature your best credits and strongest skills section first. Include any unique special skills to differentiate yourself and help fill in that white space that you wanna take up. This video is part of my Actors Essential series. That means every single video is meant to hold your hand through a different area of an actor's career in order to help you set it up. I'm helping new actors set up their career by giving them the information that I had to figure out, and you get to get it for free. So I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe, send this to more of your friends in order to help everyone get their careers on track. And make sure to hit the bell so you're notified for next week's video, which is all about Touring Actors Access. This is the main platform you'll be using to actually get your auditions. So we're going to take this resume, pop it in over there. Love you guys. See you next week. Mwah.